Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhiraye. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavad sevaya bhagavate uttam shloke bhaktir bhavati naistaki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. This morning we are reading from the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 3. Some of the verses don't have a purport. 9, 10, 11 don't have a purport. So I'll be chanting the shlokas for text number 9 and reading the purport for text number 12. Satavarsha hi anasvriti bhavyashyati ulhana bhuvi tat kalpana snan kukam lokam tin pratapsyati Satavarsha hi anavsriti bhavishyati ulhana bhuvi tatkalo narko lokam svin pratapsyati. Any Matajis would like to try? Satavarsha, lasting 100 years. He, indeed, anavrijiti, drought, bhavishyati, there will be, ulbana, terrible, bhuvi, on the earth, tatkal, in that duration of time, upachita, accumulated, ushna, whose heat, arka, the sun, lokan, the worlds, trin, three, pratapyati, will greatly burn. Translation: as cosmic annihilation approaches, a terrible drought takes place on the earth for 100 years. For 100 years, the heat of the sun gradually increases, and its blazing heat begins to torment the three worlds. Please repeat. As cosmic annihilation approaches, a terrible drought takes place on the earth for 100 years. For 100 years, the heat of the sun gradually increases, and its blazing heat begins to torment the three worlds. We continue to next text, number 10. Beginning from Pataloka, a fire grows, emanating from the mouth of Lord Sankarshan. Its flames shooting upward, driven by great winds. It scorches everything in all directions. Hordes of clouds, called Samavartaka, pour torrents of rain for 100 years, flooding down in raindrops as long as the trunk of elephants. The deadly rainfall submerges the entire universe in water. And the next text, number 12. Then Vairaj, Brahma, the soul of the universal form, gives up his universal body, O king, and enters into the subtle, unmanifest nature, like a fire that has run out of fuel. Please repeat. Then Vairaj Brahma, the soul of the universal form, gives up his universal body, O king, and enters into the subtle, unmanifest nature, like a fire that has run out of fuel. So it is quite a long purport, and we'll try to pick up some of the most important points and comment on that. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Purports by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. According to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the word Vairajyam in this verse indicates the totality of the individual conditioned souls who originally take birth from Brahma and are amalgamated back into him at the time of annihilation. By the manifestation of the Virat Purusha, the universal form of the Lord, there is a temporary display of forms, qualities and activities within the material creation. But the entire cosmic scene reverts to meet formlessness when the creation is withdrawn by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Lord's universal form cannot be accepted as an eternal form of the Lord. It is merely the temporary imaginary resemblance of his personal form. Very nicely explained here. It is merely the temporary imaginary resemblance of his personal form within the kingdom of Maya. In the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, as well as in the second canto, the universal form of the Lord is clearly explained to be an imaginary form, offered to the neophyte for meditation on God. Those who are excessively materialistic are totally unable to understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually Sachidananda Vigraha, or the eternal form of bliss and knowledge, transcendental to the exhibition of material energy. Therefore, to encourage such gross materialists to become faithful theists, the Vedic literature instructs them to meditate upon the physical universe as the gigantic body of the Supreme Lord. This pantheistic conception does not reflect the ultimate reality of the Supreme Lord, but is a technique to bring the mind gradually toward God. Srila Sridhar Swami has quoted the following verse as evidence that Lord Brahma is supposed to go back to Godhead at the time of annihilation. Brahmana saha te sarve samprapte pratishtachare parasante karina pravisham param padam. At the time of final annihilation, all self-realized souls enter with Brahma into the supreme abode. Since Brahma is sometimes considered the best devotee of the Supreme Lord, he surely should obtain liberation, since Brahma is supposed to be the best devotee, rather than merely entering into the unmanifested state of material nature called avyakta. In this connection, Srila Sridhar Swami points out that there is a class of non-devotees who attain the planet of Brahma by performing Ashwamedha Yagyas and other sacrifices. And in certain cases, Brahma himself may not be a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not all Brahmas are devotees. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says, some Brahmas are Bahirmukhi. Lord Bhaktivinoda Thakurji prays, let me be born as an insect in the house of a devotee, but I do not wish to be born as a Bahirmukha Brahma. Bahirmukha Brahma means who is not a devotee of the Lord. So the words avyaktam vichate sukshmanam can be understood to indicate that such a non-devotee Brahma cannot enter the spiritual sky despite having achieved the ultimate universal status of material expertise. But when Brahma is a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, avyaktam can be taken to indicate the spiritual sky. Since the spiritual sky is not manifest to the conditioned souls, it may also be considered avyakta. If even Lord Brahma cannot enter the kingdom of God without surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then what to speak of other so-called pious or expert non-devotees? In this regard, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has pointed out that there are three categories within the status of Brahma, namely those of karmi, jnani and devotee. A Brahma who is the most exalted karmi of the universe will have to come back to the material world. A living entity who has achieved the post of Brahma by being the greatest speculative philosopher within the universe may attain impersonal liberation. And a living entity who has been awarded the post of Brahma due to being a great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead enters into the personal abode of the Lord. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 3:32-15, yet another case is described. A Brahma who is a devotee of the Lord, but who has the tendency to think himself independent of or equal to the Lord, may achieve Mahavishnu's abode at the time of annihilation. But when creation begins again, he has to return and again take the post of Brahma. The word used in this case is bheda-drishtya, which refers to the tendency to think oneself independently powerful. The various destinations possible for such an exalted living entity as a Lord Brahma definitely prove that any material position is worthless for guaranteeing an eternal life of bliss and knowledge. In Bhagavad-gita, Krishna promises that if one gives up all other obligations and surrenders to the devotional service of the Lord will personally protect him and bring him back to the supreme abode in the spiritual sky. It is futile and foolish to try to achieve perfection by one's own strenuous endeavor and not surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna. Such a blind attempt is described in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad-gita as Bahulyasitam, indicating that it is work in the material mode of passion. Brahma is the Lord of passion, and his creation and management of the entire universe are certainly bahulyasam, or strenuous endeavor in the most exalted sense. But all such passionate work, even that of Lord Brahma, is ultimately useless without surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna. Mukham karoti vachanam panghun langayate girim yat kripa tam ham vande shiguru dina taranam paramananda madhavam. My obeisance to all the Vaishnavas, to Srila Prabhupada, to our beloved deities, SriSriRadhaRasbihari, Shri Gaur Nitai, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. It is so wonderful to be here in this fabulous temple that was built by the efforts of Srila Prabhupada and his beloved followers. Srila Prabhupada, as we all know, had to go through a lot of austerities to complete this temple, which is the flagship temple of ISKCON in India, if not the whole world. And I would like to appreciate the leaders who are working here, the managers, the whole team, presidents, and all the other devotees in a cooperative spirit to make this temple as Prabhupada wanted. One anecdote I would like to share with you, in fact two anecdotes, one concerning Srila Prabhupada's visit in Vrindavan. At that time one devotee, he was very emotional about serving Prabhupada, which is very good. And he approached Srila Prabhupada one time. Prabhupada, I would like to, if possible, dedicate the rest of it, to give my rest of my life to you. Actually give the life, the remaining years of my life. I would like that be added to your age, because you're doing such wonderful work, and compared to that, I think my life is not very much worth. So if it would be possible, I would pray that my remaining years be added to your life. So Prabhupada replied, this is the famous verse which we have all seen or heard about that. Your love for me will be shown by how much you cooperate with each other when I am no longer present here. This is a well-known verse. Your love for me will be shown by how much you cooperate with each other when I am no longer. So Prabhupada will be very pleased. We all work together in a very cooperative spirit. The second anecdote I wanted to share is we had Hanuman's birthday yesterday. So there are many other anecdotes regarding him from the Ramayana. Hanumanji is present here with us. Just one right now I would share. Maybe if time permits, I'll share some more pastimes of Hanumanji. So when Hanumanji returned from Sri Lanka after getting news of Sita, he came to Kishkinda in South India, and there he met Lord Ramachandra. And Lord Ramachandra was very happy to meet Hanuman. He had got the good news about Sita's having been found. And not only that, but that Hanuman had made Lord Ram's work even simpler. He had burnt half the city of Lanka, or the island of Lanka, so that it would be easier for Ram to attack. Actually, if Hanuman wanted, he could have killed Ravan himself. There was no big deal for him. But he wanted Ramchandra to get the credit for this. So he didn't do that. But Ramchandra was so pleased with Hanuman, he embraced him. And at that time, he spoke a very nice verse, and he said, that there are three classes of devotees, three levels of devotees. The first level of a devotee, first class devotee, is he does always more than what he is asked to do. Just as in this case, Hanuman was asked only to bring the news of Sita, but he went much ahead, and although he got the news of Sita, he burnt the city and destroyed a lot of Rakshasas and building so that it would be easier for Lord Ramachandra to go there when he was going to do the fighting. That's the first class of devotee, and we see Srila Prabhupada had the same qualities as the first quality. The first class devotee or son does more than what he's asked to do, and Srila Prabhupada did also that. He did far more than his Guru Maharaj had asked, and he got the blessings that way. The second class of devotee, although he is able to do, he may have the ability, but he does only what he is asked to do. He doesn't do anything more than that. And the third class of devotee, even though being able, having the ability, he still does not do it. He rather does opposite of what his spiritual authorities tell him to do, ask him to do. So now I will come to the main body of the class today. This is a conversation between one of the Nava-yogendras, namely Antariksha. There are 9 Nava-yogendras, collectively known as Nava-yogendras, the sons of Maharaj Rishabhadev. They were renounced sannyasis and traveling all over the universe to enliven so many various personalities of the Lord, and they came upon Maharaj Nimi, who is also one of the forefathers of Lord Ramachandra. He comes in the same dynasty of Nimi Maharaj. So during the course of this conversation, Antariksha Maharaj, and particularly in this verses that we have been reading today, describes how at the end of the creation, annihilation takes place, and very precarious situations, very clouds, these rainfalls, like each drop of rainfall is like the size of an elephant's trunk. And this goes on for 100 years. And then he goes on to mention about the Vishwarupa, or the universal form of the Lord. So this Vishwarupa of the Lord is more detailed mentioned in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad-gita. In other places also, Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, more details. In a sense, it is all the taken collectively, everything, all the planetary system and the time, past, present, future, all the demigods, everything that in the creation is fitted into this one universal form. Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, SriSriRadhaRasbihari ki jai, Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai. And we recall from the Bhagavad-gita, 10th chapter, verse number 41, where Krishna explains that all this beautiful, everything that is beautiful, powerful in this creation is but amsha, just a spark of my splendor. Here he says that yad yad vibhutimat sattvam Srimad urjitam evava tad tad eva gachatam mamatejo amsa sambhavami. All these beautiful creations, they are made just by spark of my splendor. We cannot understand how unlimited the Lord is. So for those who cannot immediately take to devotional service, Krishna displays this. We can try to understand by this universal form, which actually means all demigods, everything in the creation is shown in his form. But the devotees, naturally they are not attracted to this fearsome form of the Lord. They are attracted to the more personal form of the Lord. In any of his incarnations, there mean so many incarnations of the Lord, and particularly the Rama incarnation, Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and many other incarnations of the Lord. They are very attracted to the pastimes. Krishna himself says that to display beautiful pastimes, so that by remembering these pastimes, the devotees become attracted. There was a conversation between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his great devotee named Raghupati Upadhyay. That was on the banks of the Jamuna in one town called Adila ground. It is quite near to our present center of Prayag, just across the Jamuna. And there, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was questioning Raghupati, what is the best form of the Lord? What is the most attractive form of the Lord? And Raghupati Upadhyaya replied, the most attractive form of the Lord is his Shama Sundar form. This is the best form. Shamam Tribhangalalitam Niyata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamham Bhajami. This is the most attractive form of the Lord. Then he was asking, what is the best age of the Lord? So the best age of the Lord, Raghupati replied, there are 3 ages of the Lord. From 5 up to 5 years is known as Kumara, and from 5 to 10 is known as Poganda, and after 10 he is known as Kishora, and he doesn't grow beyond 17. His body, transcendental body, is ever youthful. You see, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he was 125 years old, but he looks very young. He doesn't grow beyond that. 125, his body doesn't grow beyond that. 125 years, but he looks very young. So that Kishora is the best age. Then he asked, what is the best rasas of the 5 rasas? One is Shanta. We don't bother so much about that. The other 4, what is the best? And he says, Madhurya rasa is the best, conjugal love. That is the best rasa. And what is the best place for the devotion service? Mathura is the best place. So these are the answers he gave. So these forms, there are many forms of the Lord. As the Lord is unlimited, his forms are also unlimited. But even up to Lord Ramchandra or Sriman Narayan, Krishna has some extra qualities which even these other forms do not have. They are known as Rupa Madhuri, beautiful, very beautiful form. Then there is Leela Madhuri, wonderful pastimes. Third is Venu Madhuri, pastimes, the Bansuri, which attracts so many people, gopis, all the Brajavasis. And Leela Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, and Bhakta Madhuri. He is always surrounded by loving devotees. So, regarding the beauty of Krishna, which is one of the 6 opulences of Krishna, Aishwarya, son of Aishwarya, Krishna himself sometimes becomes bewildered by his own beauty. There is one instant recorded by Shri Bilibi Mangal Thakur in his book, Krishna Karnamrita. Once, Krishna, he wanted to be alone with Satyabhama. So they went into a forest, and there Krishna seated Satyabhama, and he was looking for some flowers, malati flowers and other flowers to decorate her head. So while searching for these flowers, he came across a pillar, marble pillar. It was shining, this marble pillar. And because it was very shining, he stood before him, Krishna stood before the marble pillar and saw his reflection. So he couldn't figure out, who is this beautiful person? It took him some time to realize that it was himself only. Such a beautiful person. So he actually wanted to embrace this figure. But then he realized, no, this is a male form. I cannot embrace a male form. Only a female form can embrace this male form. So our acharyas have described that this is one of the reasons that Krishna accepted the form of Radharani and in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Another incident, the demigods, they are so impressed by the beauty of Krishna. Out of love, they are praising Lord Brahmaji. Lord Brahma, oh my dear Lord Brahma, congratulations! You have created such a wonderful person. Who is that wonderful person? Krishna. They think like that. That Brahma, because Brahma is the creator of everything. Out of love, they think that Brahma has created Krishna. But actually, it's not so. We all know that Krishna's expansions as Garbhodakshay Vishnu from his lotus navel, lotus flower sprouts, and on top of that Lord Brahma is born. So actually, coming back to this universal form, everything that we see in this world is the reflection, a bimba of the spiritual world. So when we are saying that Krishna's eyes are like lotus flowers, we often call Krishna Padmanetra or Kamalalocan, that his eyes are like lotus. Because we have in this world, the most beautiful thing is a lotus flower. So our acharyas have explained, it's not that the eyes of Krishna are like a lotus. Rather, it's the opposite way. The lotus is like the eyes of Krishna. The lotus is like the eyes of Krishna. Excuse me. And even in Krishna's beauty or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's beauty, Chaitanya and Krishna, they are non-different. Krishna is very beautiful, we know, and so is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we find the verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which says, Krishna varnam tisa Krishnam sanga upasanga parsadam yagyai sankirtan prayar prajantehi sumedisha. He is coming, but he does not have weapons. His weapons are his beauty. His weapon is his beauty. He attracts everyone by his beauty. That is his weapon. I was reminded of one story, a real life story actually. There was one German scholar, and he had read many Vedic literatures, and all in the Vedic literatures, Puranas, one particular demigod is praised, in another Purana another demigod is praised, like that, so that we also know. So he was a little confused. What is actually the truth? So he came, at that time there was a Magha Mela going on in Prayag, and he visited many of these dioramas. Many of the dioramas they are displayed there. I'll just make it very short. He first visited Durga Mata's diorama. He saw her sitting on a tiger. He was very impressed. Wow, she must be really very strong to be able to sit on a tiger. She is not an ordinary person. But he saw closely, she was holding 10 weapons in her 10 hands, even though she was sitting on a tiger. Meaning that she was apprehending someone may attack. So this way next, junkie, they call it junkie. Next diorama he went, Lord Shiva sitting in a meditative position, yoga, having a nag, cobra, on his kanta, neck. Wow, he was impressed. This is even more dangerous to cobra. Have a cobra around the neck. Must be very dangerous. But he's sitting very calmly. But he saw, he's also having a trishul, and he's also having japa beads in his hand. So he must be chanting the name of someone. Obviously that person must be greater than him. So who is that greater person? He must not be chanting his own name, must be someone else. So this way he went, many other junkies. He saw Narayan, Lakshmi Narayan. They were smiling very gently, very beautiful. But Narayan was also holding weapons, Gada and Chakra. So he said, let me go further. Then he saw Sita Ram Lakshman, Hanumanji. They were also holding bows and arrows. They're very beautiful. Sita ji is ready posed to garland Rama. But still Ram and Lakshman are holding weapons. Went further, and the next one, junkie that he saw, was Radha and Krishna. And here he saw Krishna was not holding any weapons, but was playing the flute. And Radharani was just waiting there, smiling with a garland to garland him, with his girlfriend. Krishna was, and with his smile. So this German scholar, he was impressed. Here we see, I am convinced now, this is the supreme person. He is not afraid of anything. He is enjoying. He is just playing the flute. And Radharani is staying there, just ready to garland him. So he was thinking, now I found, he had found, that's the truth, Govindamadi Purusham Tamhamajami. But he didn't realize that actually Krishna was having the most powerful weapon. And the most powerful weapon is his smile, with which he can conquer the whole of the universes. Krishna Karnamrita describes a very beautiful verse that in Krishna's form, beautiful transcendental forms, although all paths are transcendental and spiritual, yet there are also gradations in his body. His body is most beautiful. More beautiful than his body is his face. And even more beautiful than his face is his smile. So this wonderful verse comes from the Krishna Karnamrita by Bilvi Mangal Thakur, that Madhuram Madhuram Vapur Asya Vibhu Madhuram Madhuram Madhu Vadanam Madhur Gandhi Madhu Smita Madhuram 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 Madhuram. This is a wonderful, beautiful verse composed by Bilvi Mangal Thakur in the Krishna Karnamrita, which is saying Krishna's form is most beautiful, but even more beautiful than his form is his face, Vadanam Madhuram, and even more beautiful than his face is his smile, by which he can conquer everyone. Gopis say that it destroys the egos of everyone. So one of the other points that is mentioned in this purport is that unless one becomes a devotee of the Lord, there is no chance of going back to Godhead. Karmis, yogis, and what to speak of ordinary karmis and yogis. Here we are talking about Brahma. Even if Brahma is not a devotee, he cannot go back to Godhead. So it is very important that we take shelter of the holy names of the Lord. As Rupa Goswami has said, this is the definition of Krishna consciousness. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavitamati kriyante yati kuto abhilabhate tatra lolyam ekalam mulyam koti janam sukriti na labhyate. Rupa Goswami is saying that if you see devotional service, bhakti rasa bhavitamati, Krishna consciousness made available anywhere, don't wait. Take it immediately. Tatra lolyam ekalam mulyam. Lolyam, that means your enthusiasm, is the only price. Mula means price. The only price that you have to pay for is your enthusiasm. Tatra lolyam ekalam mulyam sukriti koti janamana labhyate. What you cannot obtain by koti, millions of lifetimes of pious activities, you can obtain at once just by taking to this process of Krishna consciousness. But he says lolyam must be there. And what is that lolyam? Lolyam means greed. We must be very greedy. But of course, in the material world, we are greedy for sense enjoyment. We want so many benefits, so much wealth, women, this thing and that. We all want so much wealth. This is the greed. That greed we should change and have greed for Krishna, to get Krishna's mercy, to be engaged in Krishna's seva. That greed will take us back home to Godhead. And just as devotees have a greed, they should have a greed. Otherwise, how will Krishna notice us? One of the items mentioned in Act of Devotion, we must know the art of crying. We must learn the art of crying for Krishna. Otherwise, how will Krishna notice us? That greed a devotee should have. So similarly, as the devotees have greed, they should have greed for Krishna. Krishna also has greed. And we'll come to this in a minute. This is the greed which eventually leads him to come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Starting all the way from Lord Vishnu in Vaikuntha, pastimes of the four Kumaras, cursing Jai and Vijay. To be short, the Lord is full of six opulences, as we all know. All strength, all beauty, all knowledge, renunciation, fame, wealth, right. So, having this opulence of strength, we all know that he's very strong. At the age of 3 days, he killed Putana. So many other pastimes. He listed Govardhan Hill also later. So, in Vaikuntha, the Lord also wants to demonstrate his health, strength. to fight demons. But in Vaikuntha, there are no demons as such, because everyone is a devotee there. So, Yogamaya arranges that Krishna can fulfill or Vishnu can fulfill his desire. So the whole scene is arranged by Yogamaya, that the Kumaras curse Jai and Vijay, and they come down on earth and give the Lord satisfaction in fighting in his incarnations. First he has Varaha, and then as Nrsimhadev, and later on Ramchandra. So our acharyas have given a very nice commentary on this, that after killing Hiranyakashipu, Lord Nrsimhadev was so fearful to everyone. He was so angry. He was dancing as just like Lord Shiva at the end of the Paralya. No one dared to approach him. Not even his beloved wife Lakshmi could approach him. He was so fearful that demigods, Lord Brahma, they understood he is very, very angry. So they found only one solution. They sent Prahlad to pacify Nrsimhadev. So these are two forms. One is the Ugra form of the Nrsimhadev. But as soon as Nrsimhadev saw Prahlad, he became completely pacified. This is his Shant form, and put him on his lap, cuddled him. He was very happy. Nrsimhadev was very happy. And Prahlad, he was enjoying this. My father, he has protected me. At that time, Nrsimhadev was feeling, we are having a Vatsalya relationship of father and son. Nrsimhadev is the father and Prahlad the son. If only I could be the son, then I would be able to relish that Vatsalya rasa. So that greed for him, of him, to taste Vatsalya rasa. So all incarnations after Nrsimha avatar, the next one was Vaman avatar. They had parents, they had mother and father. Before that, they were born different places. Varaha came from the nostril of Brahma, and all. Even Nrsimhadev came out from a pillar like that. But after Nrsimhadev, father and mother were accepted. Vamandev, and then later on Sri Ramachandra. So in incarnation of Ramachandra, there was Dasyaras was developed with Hanuman, and also friendship was developed. His friends were like Sugriva, Vibhishana, Nishad, King Nishad Raj, like that. There was friendship. This is called Ashramba Sakhya. But there's another type of friendship which existed at the time of Lord Krishna, which is called Vishramba Bhava. There, the cowherd boys, they don't think of Krishna as a friend. They joke with him. They tease him. They climb on his shoulders. They give him food from their own mouth to eat, and Krishna relishes that. That is Vishramba Sakhara. Lord Ramachandra was anxious to taste that. And not only that, there was conjugal love in Ramachandra's Leela also with Sita. There was separation and reunion also. But that was a forced separation, and it was not voluntary, neither it had any varieties. So he became greedy to taste this. And so he came in this next avatar as Krishna. He was able to taste this. Yesterday we heard that the two types of relationships, Swakiya Bhava and Parakiya Bhava. The Parakiya Bhava in the spiritual world is the highest. So here he exhibited that. And then during this Parakiya Bhava, the Radharani's love for him is the highest. So in order to taste the love, experience the love of Radharani, that's one of the reasons, internal reasons. And what is in his own beauty that attracts Radharani, and to taste the happiness which Radharani feels in serving him, he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These are the internal reasons. Yesterday we also heard about one external reason why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, very nicely described by Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj yesterday, that during the exile of Lord Ramachandra, Vanavas of Lord Ramachandra, one day Sita ji, she saw there was a heap of bones, like a mountain of bones. So she asked, what is this? She was wondering. So she was explaining, actually they were Rakshasas. They had just killed so many people, and they were man-eaters. So Ramchandra had got his arrow and bow ready to shoot these Rakshasas. But Mother Sita, after all, she is the mother of everyone. Everyone is her progeny. So she felt compassion. She said, no, my Lord, we are Vanvasis. You cannot kill this time. But Lord Ramchandra explained, my dear Sita, true we are Vanvasis, but we are also Kshatriyas. It's our duty to protect, my duty to protect. But I assure you that in my next incarnation, I will not use weapons. So in his next incarnation as Krishna, although he killed demons before he left Braja, Putana at the age of 3 days, Trinavrata, so many, Agasura, Bakasura, so many. Then in Braj, Radharani, she said, but you had promised last incarnation you will not use weapons. But you're using weapons, you've killed so many demons. Krishna said, no, I have not used any weapons, I've used only my hands. So Radharani said, okay, but you have killed, no? So next incarnation, I will come along with you in the same body, and I will make sure you do not cheat and you do not kill anyone. So in the next incarnation, he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he did not kill anyone, but just saved everyone. And this is the external reason for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's. There were many points, so we may not have covered everything, but since it was Lord Hanuman, I would say Lord Hanumanji's birthday yesterday, I would just like to recount two pastimes of Lord Hanuman. Yeah, we're almost out of time, but very interesting pastime. Once there was a katha going on, and Narad Muni was doing the pravachan. During the course of the pravachan, he said very categorically that the holy name of the Lord is more powerful than the Lord himself. So some of the members of the audience, shrotas, they were a little bewildered. They were not convinced about it. They had some doubts. Because we also have heard that Krishna is the most merciful, no one is equal to or greater than him. We have heard that. So this audience was also wondering, how is it that there can be something more powerful than God? So Narad Muni, in order to convince them, he made a strategy. He asked Hanuman, in a few days' time, there's going to be an assembly of the Darbar, they call it, Darbar of Lord Ramchandra, and all these rishis, great personalities. So you go, enter that arena, you offer your respects to Ramchandra, Lakshman, and everyone, all the rishis, but don't offer your respects to Vishwamitra. He told him that. So when this assembly took place, Hanuman faithfully went and offered his respects to each and everyone except Vishwamitra, because he was instructed by Narad Muni, don't offer your respects to. This was the plan of Narad Muni. So as Vishwamitra saw that Hanuman was not respecting him, he flared up in anger. You think that because I had a Kshatriya, I was born as a Kshatriya, later became a Brahman, Brahma Rishi, that you should not offer my respects? This is not befitting you. And he stood up and he started blaming Lord Ramchandra for this. See, this is your servant. He has the audacity to not offer me respects. So he should be punished, and you should punish him because he is your servant. He has neglected me. So Lord Ramchandra immediately stood up and said, okay, Rishi, he has offended you. So you tell me what punishment I should give him. So Vishwamitra said, you should give him the death sentence, Mrityu Danda. Lord Ramchandra, because having given his word that he will give whatever punishment Vishwamitra Muni asks, he was obliged. Okay, Rishi, if that's what, tomorrow we'll do that. The assembly was dissolved, and Hanuman, he went to his mother, Anjana, sad, lamenting. He was not in the least worried about death. For a devotee, whether it lives or death, he's not afraid of death. But he was thinking, my Lord will have to do this, such painful thing, and I will be bereft of his service. So he went to Mother Anjana. Mata, today is the last day you will see me alive. What happened? Anjana asked. Then he explained the whole story. Mother Anjana replied, my dear son, please do not worry at all. I am going to give you a kvacha of the holy name of Ram. You just chant the name of Ram and nothing will happen to you. Taking her blessings, the next day Hanumanji came. He sat on the bank of the Saryu river. Assembly started and Vishwamitra immediately demanded, "Where is your Hanuman?" He ordered to Ram, "Go fulfill your vachan, your promise to kill Hanuman. Get ready and do that." So they all went, Lord Ram, all the other rishis, to where Hanumanji was sitting on the bank of the Saryu. He was just chanting, Ram, 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 Ram. So Vishwamitra ordered, "Okay, start you firing your arrows." To Ram he ordered, and Ram started firing. Arrow after arrow after arrow. But Hanumanji was just saying, Ram, 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 Ram. So Vishwamitra blamed him. He is your very dear servant. That's why you are very slow. Put force in your arrows, then we'll see what happens. So this time Ram did put a lot of force. The more force he put, the more louder Hanuman chanted Ram, 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 and the arrows bounced back. Ram's arrows had no effect, and ultimately they had to decide that Hanuman will not be able to kill because he's getting the kwacha, the shelter of the holy names of the Lord. And this fact, our acharyas, particularly Rupa Goswami, has said that the holy name of the Lord is more powerful than the Lord himself, because the holy name of the Lord can attract the Lord himself. It's in Hindi, there's a very nice bhajan, Hari se bada Hari ka naam. You can chant, Hari se bada Hari ka naam. Prabhu se bada Prabhu ka naam. Prabhu se bada Prabhu ka naam. So, thank you all of you for coming, and we pray for the blessings. Sitaram Lakshan Hanuman ji, Sri Radha Ras Bihari ji, Gaur Nitai. They can keep on blessing us, they may bless us, and we always maintain a humble attitude in our devotional service. May we never become proud. Just last thing about Hanumanji, then we'll end here. When they were crossing or building the bridge to cross the ocean, Hanuman and monkeys were throwing big stones, mountains in the sea. And one squirrel was just throwing little grains of sand. Hanumanji removed that squirrel. What this will happen? We are being big mountains and this grain, what will do? But Lord Ramchandra told Hanumanji, don't think that your service is more important than this squirrel's. For me, this squirrel's service is equally dear. I am equally impressed with this because this little squirrel is using all the might that he has. You are having big power. He is having only little power. But I am as happy with her or him as with you. Lord Ramchandra, by teaching this to Hanuman, is actually teaching to us. Because a mother-in-law teaches her daughter, a daughter-in-law, by teaching the daughter. Have you heard that saying? A mother-in-law teaches the daughter-in-law by teaching the daughter. Okay? So we'll end here because I have our meetings starting very shortly. Thank you all, everyone, those who joined physically as well as those who joined online. Hare Krishna. Shri Grantaraj, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.